We're going to go ahead and continue our post-race media availabilities. We're joined now by the crew chief from your 2017 NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Championship team, Rudy Fugle. Rudy, this is your second Truck Series Championship. You had your first one with Eric Jones in 2015. You've had 21 career NASCAR Camping World Truck Series victories with 4 different drivers: Kyle Busch, Eric Jones, William Byron, and now Christopher Bell. So pretty solid record there. Talk us through tonight and what this one means to you.
Yeah, so kind of screwed up qualifying. Missed the second round, qualified 13th. Kind of our only worry of the day. Practice went really well this morning, as planned. Then they dropped the green, and he drove to the front, and kind of had a really good truck. And we just tried to stay ahead of the other playoff guys, the P's as we call them. You know, there was times where we were riding, times where that's all we had, and had good pit stops. The race kind of played out easy, where it didn't have to take a wild strategy or anything to get us screwed up. So it worked out well, and everything was smooth sailing.
We'll go ahead and open it up to questions. We'll start right up front here with Reed, please.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. Rudy, could you believe that the race went caution-free other than the 2-stage breaks there?
Homestead always gets that feel. So it's common, you know, but it's usually there's one blown tire or somebody got way too loose and spun out. So yeah, I was waiting on that. It's 20 to go, and I'm waiting on it and waiting on it and waiting on it. It's like, okay, we got to take tires, and we're not firing off. We're too tight to fire off, you know. So what am I going to do? I don't want to free it up too much. So yeah, I was waiting for that other, you know, ball to drop, but it never did. So it worked out.
Continue on with questions for Rudy. Go right here to Zach Albert.
Zach Albert, NASCAR.com. Rudy, the growth of Bell from last year to this year, what have you seen in him, and has he been any different as he's kind of learned the ropes, I guess, in these last 2 full seasons? Yeah,
no, for sure. It's I mean, it's 3.5 years at KBM asphalt racing. You know, he was a dirt racer, and he showed up KBM, went super late model racing, and then went truck racing for 2 years. So just see the confidence grow in him and how everything was going. And way less mistakes. You know, last year was full of little mistakes here and then that cost him, you know, and he just learned that, hey, you don't got to push that hard, and just kind of, you know, it's just a different type of racing than he's used to. So he's definitely grown a ton.
Additional questions for our championship winning crew chief. Go right up front here to Lee, please.
What kind of job did Hirschman do as a spotter? Because I think it's just normal that when you have a truck as fast as Christopher's, you want to be out front leading. And he just told him, you know, run your pace and don't get involved in the 27. And, you know, I mean, how difficult was that to kind of find that balance?
Yeah, I mean, Hirschman's the smartest spotter in the business, period. He understands everything. He's a you know, he's just really, really good. He deals with Kyle Busch on a regular basis, so he figures out how to deal with the highs and the lows and try to keep it, you know, keep it centered up. So he's just really, really good. And I was just keeping him up, Hirschman at pace of, hey, you know, a 4-second lead, a 6-second lead. You know, even though you're third, you're just looking at how much you're leading by. You know, so we had to pull the reins back pretty hard there a couple times, but it worked out.
Excellent. Rudy, congratulations on the championship and a great season. We look forward to seeing you in Daytona.
Thank you.
We are now joined by our race-winning team, the 22nd Annual Ford EcoBoost 200, Chase Briscoe, who's also our 2017 Sunoco Rookie of the Year in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. Chase, this is your first victory. This is your 14th top 10 finish in 2017. Tremendous effort from the entire team. Talk to us a little bit how this thing played out in your eyes.
Yeah, you know, we brought a really good truck first off, and just can't thank Brad and everybody at BKR to, you know, for us to not be in the playoffs and to be shutting down, to still bring, you know, trucks that can win races and set on the poles. Just a huge statement from the organization in general. So just can't thank the guys enough at the shop to keep believing in all of us, and especially me and Austin, and especially me just not being in the playoffs. You would think that you could kind of be pushed to the side, but, you know, we had 2 poles after we got knocked out of the playoffs and then the wins. So I just can't thank, you know, for them to continue to keep fighting for us. And it was definitely an up and down race. You know, we fired off there and we were really good, I felt like, and Bell kind of ran us down and we just lost all rear drive in that second stage. I got kind of shuffled on the restart. I didn't do a good job on my end and fell back to fourth and felt like we were pretty good right there there at the end because I started catching everybody again. But, you know, really our pit crew was absolutely awesome tonight. And that's one thing that we have, I feel like, struggled with a little bit all year long. And tonight they were absolutely on it. So once we got to the lead, I felt like we were going to have a caution just because it seems like all year long that's kind of the way our luck's been. But we were fortunate enough to go on and win. And I definitely didn't think it would take this long, but, you know, definitely sitting here glad that it did.
Buddy, you got a rookie. You've shepherded him through to win the Rookie of the Year. He's out front for a good bit of the race tonight. Kind of talk to us a little bit about, from your perspective, how this thing played out.
I just have a lot of trust in him. He's from the time I met him down here at Homestead last year, it's just watching the race. We knew we were going to get him as a driver, and you know, the first time I went and watched him practice at Atlanta, he ran about 25 laps wide open, never lifted, and I said, yeah, that's what we need for a race car driver right there. So unbelievable car control, and so you can run a different setup with him than you have to a lot of guys, and you just turn him loose and brag on him a little bit and crack the whip, and he'll get it done.
Brad, both of your drivers have talked in the last couple of days about going out and getting this team, this organization to win, to go out on top. What does this mean for you to see your guys come through like this, to have one battling for a title right up to the end, and then to go ahead and cap it off with a race win?
Yeah, you know, it's you know, not a great situation to be in, where we're shutting down the team and so forth, and it's a real test of character to see how you finish it. And you know, that's everyone, you know, Chase included, Buddy included, and these guys really stepped up. They deserve, you know, a lot of credit for that. It's easy to kind of coast and wind down, and they didn't do that. And they found you know, a little bit extra, as you can tell, to get in victory lane for the first time for their team. So I'm really proud of that. That doesn't go unnoticed by me. I know how hard a mental challenge that is for anyone, and they overcame that. And I think that's probably the biggest thing that stands out for me tonight. Of course, we had you know, a chance at the championship with Austin, and he ran I thought a pretty strong race as well. So proud of that. But you know, it's certainly a special night. Some ways bittersweet, but you know, it's kind of the cards that we were dealt, but everyone made the most of them. So that's all you can ask for, and I'm really happy for everybody.
We're going to go ahead and open up the questions. We'll start with Jerry, then we'll go to Greg, and then over to Joseph.
Jerry Jordan, KickingTheTires.net and Performance Racing Network. Brad, obviously we've heard a lot about this going out on top and, you know, but winning tonight. And do you think you'll look back and regret knowing that you guys were so competitive this final year that you're going to shut this down and go do something else?
Well, I mean, you can only regret the things that you had the, you know, ability to really make work and didn't. You know, it just wasn't feasible to make things work for next year on a number of levels. So, you know, in that sense, I can't really regret it because it wasn't, you know, a possibility. But I do think we have a great group to go that I feel fortunate to be a part of in some small way. Jeremy Thompson deserves a lot of credit of having a great team. You know, I don't think my days of being a team owner are over. They're just, you know, maybe taking a little break until the right situation finds me. The right situation didn't exist for 2018. But you know, it might come back around the corner sometime soon. And when that day happens, this will be the last race that we ran, and it'll be tough to beat it. I can tell you that. So I'm not sure what those scenarios might be. I know that I haven't given up on, you know, the ownership stuff. You know, I would like to come back to it when the time and opportunity is right. So, you know, regret's not the right word. Regret would only be the right word if it was 100% in my control and I have no plan on coming back. And I can tell you, if the right scenario unfolds, that you know, I would do just that. I would come back. So that's kind of how I feel about it.
We'll go to Greg, and then Bob, and then Joseph.
Greg Engel, AutoWeek.com. Jerry just blew my entire question, but I'm enthralled, and I'm enthralled with the curling too. So The question then would be, now that this is over, because you're in the championship chase, the championship playoff. Was this, I mean, you're coming into this with, you've got to worry about yourself and Penske and all that. Now that this is over, was this kind of weighing on your mind? I mean, it's got to take part of your focus and concentration away.
There we go.
All right. Part of your focus and concentration away. And now that this is over, I mean, you can enjoy it and put it behind you. And now, maybe that little piece of worry is over with. Does that make sense? Or am I too confusing, like curling?
Is that for me or for him?
No, for you.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was for Chase. I was watching curling too. Yeah, I don't know if I have a great answer for that. I know a couple of things that I feel that I probably haven't said. I feel like I've been fortunate to be a part of some careers. There were a lot of people that took chances on me earlier in my career and invested me and so forth. And that's what got me to where I'm at now. And, I'm thankful for that. Part of being thankful for that is not just saying it words and doing something in return in action. And I've been fortunate enough to help a few people with their careers and, drivers that maybe, people probably think of them more than anything else, like Chase and Austin and Ryan Blaney. We got Tyler Reddick and Daniel Hemrick. It's been great to help those guys and see them be successful. And a lot of other guys, pit crew guys and so forth. About half of the pit crew on my Cup car right now has come through these programs, and half the pit crew at Team Penske has. So that feels great to know that you're a part of helping them build their future. But that's it's one of those scenarios where, like I said, I'd like to think of it as a pause, not rather than a break. But I can tell you that this guy sitting next to me, I've been worried about him. I want to see him get a great deal. Hopefully that'll all come together for him, and I'll let him handle wins and wheres and what's going to be when the time's right for him. But I do feel like this year was a big leap of faith. We put 2 rookie drivers in who I think combined starts between the two is maybe 6 in NASCAR, period. And both of them won races. Never had a veteran driver to really lean on. That's a big ask for 2 rookies, and one that doesn't go missed on me. And they carried with a lot of poise and great leadership. I didn't see it. Maybe it happened and they didn't tell me about it, but I never saw the 2 fight with each other or have any of those issues and that you would have, because they're both young talents, guys that I would call first-round draft picks as drivers. So they're going to go on and have bigger and brighter careers than what I could ever give them here with the current model that I have. So I'm happy for them and happy to see them go to the next step. It's important for a young driver to keep growing, keep building. So and the reality is I'm happy to see it kind of go for them to blossom and have that next opportunity. It's like kicking the bird out of the nest and making sure he flies. But they'll make the most of it. And, I think there's, a few people that I'm concerned about in the shop and so forth, being able to land the right deal and so forth. But the drivers and so forth, they're going to go on and they're going to have great careers, much bigger than what I could ever done for them in the next few years. So, in a lot of ways, I think it's good for them.
We're going to go to Bob, then Joseph.
Bob Cockers, ESPN. I have one for Brad and one for Chase. First for Brad, does Chase get this truck, or does it already have a price tag on it?
Wow. How much did he pay you for that one?
Well, it's his first win, so I didn't know whether he gets.
We're going to have to think and talk about that one a little bit.
I'll take the Eldora truck.
Eldora. Was there anything left of that one?
We can build it.
We'll worry about that one. I got to have a meeting with the financial team. Once they see that red number, I might make a word that I don't want to make, but we'll figure that one out as we go.
And Chase, do you have any idea what you're doing next year, and does it stress you out, or are you like, well, I'm a Ford guy and they'll figure out what they're doing with me?
Yeah, it's definitely been stressful, especially when you haven't won a race. I think, you try to campaign for yourself and say that you could get it done, but when you don't have a win to count for it, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, I think. So I think tonight was definitely, you know, a big momentum booster for me. I think it definitely doesn't hurt. I could say that at least. But yeah, I think I'm going to be okay for next year. I think we're going to have some announcements maybe even this weekend. So looking forward to obviously going there next year and seeing what we can do. And just can't thank Brad enough. I remember when I met with him at Kansas in 2016, he sat there and said that, you know, this whole career deal is an elevator. When you get to the top, you got to send it back down. And he sent it back down, and obviously getting a win, that's, I feel like, going to the next level. So hopefully I can get back to the top, and then I can send it down for the next guy.
We'll stay over here to the right to Joseph, then we'll come up front here to Lee.
Joseph Walken, frontstretch.com. Brad, I spoke to Kevin Harvick a few weeks ago, and he said he doesn't see himself becoming a truck owner again unless it's part of a group. I'm over here. What do you consider, as you put it, to be the right situation to get back in the ownership realm in the future?
There's a lot of pieces. I think the biggest thing is just the manufacturer piece is huge. Having the right support there is critical, financially and technically, and then the sponsorship model is too. I feel I've had great managers run this program. They're going to go on and do some great things as well, and they already got spots lined up, and I'm happy for them, so I don't want to tell where they're going. But putting together the team was, a real joy. But, probably the biggest struggle for us is we're always playing from behind on funding. And I would say that, those scenarios are the most critical to putting together the right team. I feel like with the knowledge that I have growing up in the sport and with some of the people I'm around, that we could build a top caliber team, not just at this level, but at the highest level with the right, surroundings financially. But that was just too hard for me to come by at this level. That's, certainly a limitation.
We'll go right up here in the front to Lee.
SpencerMotorsport.com. Congratulations, Chase. You think your parents would let Christopher Bell stay at their house now?
I don't know. I mean, now that they know him, it definitely helped. But yeah, it's definitely funny. Looking back, I think it's been probably 6 or 7 years when we first started racing video games together, and he was in Oklahoma at the time and was going to come to Indiana and start racing sprint cars. And like I told you, I remember asking my parents if Christopher Bell could come stay and live with us, and they're like, "No, we don't even know who he is. Like, we're not going to let some random kid in our house." So it's definitely cool, though, for two kids that grew up racing sprint cars together and racing online, and we still race online almost every night together. So it's definitely cool to be able to do double burnouts out there with him, and it's definitely cool for sure. But I don't know if they're letting him stay or not. I think they've even kicked me out at this point, so we'll see.
Did you think this day would come when Mike Hillman left?
I had all the confidence in the world in Buddy. I think, when we had that deal where he got suspended, Buddy came in. That was our probably 4 best races, I think, in the middle of the season. So, you're only as good as a team, not one guy. So I had all the confidence in the world in all my guys. And, we struggled last week a little bit, but we still finished 4th, so we knew that we could carry momentum throughout the year. And I think we all wanted to win. I think it's easier to find a job when you go out winners, and I know Buddy's been preaching that all year long. So, yeah, I'm proud of these guys, like I said. But, yeah, Hillman leaving, it didn't really have an effect. I mean, obviously, I love Hillman to death, and he's a great friend. But at the same time, I knew we'd be all right.
And, Buddy, you said it had been a pleasure to work for what you considered was the best owner that you'd ever worked for in Brad. Can you tell us why? I mean, I know it's hard to, when you have a full-time day job, as he does with Team Penske, to kind of find that balance.
He's a racer. The best thing you can say about Brad is he was raised in a racing family. He understands the business from the bottom to the top. He understands sacrifice and the whole deal. And when we first started, we didn't have a really nice place to work, but we managed to win out of it. And so he went out and made an investment in a really nice shop for us. He does everything first class, and he raises the bar. He made every other truck team better because he made his team better. And I've worked for a lot of owners over the years, and I mean, whether he's sitting here or not, if he called me back in 4 or 5 years, I'd be the first guy on the doorstep wanting to go to work for him.
Thank you.
He is a great owner, and Chase is a great driver. Drivers and owners make good crew chiefs, not the other way around.
Gentlemen, congratulations on a great win tonight.
A great season. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we are going to cap off our Ford EcoBoost 200 post-race driver and owner availabilities with our championship winning driver, Christopher Bell, and our owner champion, Kyle Busch Motorsports. Gentlemen, first, congratulations. Let me just share with the group here a few very impressive statistics. First of all, it was the 10th Manufacturers Championship for Toyota. Christopher, this was obviously your first championship, but you finished the 2017 season with 5 wins, 15 top 5 finishes, 21 top 10 finishes, and 5 Keystone Light Pole Awards. Solid statistics there. Kyle, for your organization, this is your record 5th consecutive and 6th all-time NASCAR Camping World Truck Series owner championship. The first team in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series ownership to win 5 consecutive owner titles. So you have, over the course of that time, have led 10 different drivers to victory lane for a total of 65 series wins. Very impressive. So first, again, congratulations. Christopher, exciting race throughout the night. You stayed up close to the front. Talk us through how things went from your perspective.
Well, it was really, I don't know, I don't want to say smooth sailing, but things went our way. As soon as we fired off there, I knew that my truck was really good. I could kind of just take it easy. Whenever you get to these pavement races and you can go fast without trying as hard, you're always in better shape because you can take care of your tires so much easier. And I was able to really run the bottom of 1 and 2 at the beginning of the race and make really good time down there. And it was really beneficial for me because I was keeping my truck out of danger down there. But those guys kept getting better and better each restart, and we kept tightening up, which I think hurt our fire-off speed. But over the long run, it made it safer for me to drive, and it paid off.
Kyle, the unprecedented level of consistency for your organization, what's the secret to that?
I think one of the secrets is obviously people, and Joe Gibbs will always tell you that, and I strongly believe in that as well too. That when you have a great group of people, great group of guys and girls, and everybody at Kyle Busch Motorsports that you thank them for all the hard work that they do and everything that they're able to accomplish, and putting fast tundras on the racetrack is certainly the start of all of that. So. Our success that we've had over the course of the career that we've had in the Camping World Truck Series of being team owners has been a phenomenal road, and it's some that we enjoy each and every year. And to see guys like Christopher Bell and William Byron and Eric Jones and the talents that they have and the ability that they show behind the wheel of our Tundras to just take them to victory lane, take them to championships is what we're all about. So, I can't thank Christopher enough and him and all the guys that for sticking with us and believing in our program, and for Christopher being with us for 2 years. Obviously this is kind of a goodbye moment, but we being teammates with him again next year at Joe Gibbs Racing is going to be a lot of fun, and looking forward to see him continue to grow and evolve in this sport.
We're going to start with our questions. We'll go to Reed and then Lee.
You started the season with the win in Chili Bowl. You end as a NASCAR champion. Any comparison between the two, and can it get any better?
As a calendar year overall, I don't think it gets much better than that. But you can't compare the two. One of them's a race, and one of them's a championship over a course of a year. But so it's really tough to compare them. But to be able to win both is definitely a dream come true.
We'll go to Lee and then Bob.
LeeSpencerMotorsport.com. How hard was it not to want to race for the win with everything that was at stake, and as solid as your car was? I mean, I heard Hirschman on the radio. He was just trying to keep you, focused on the big prize. But how difficult when you're a racer is it not to want to go out to the lead?
Well, it's extremely difficult, and that's a product of this format. I mean, I would have loved to have been able to lock it up and race for a win tonight, but You know, you never know if you have a late race restart, or you saw over the course of the restarts throughout the race that all of the playoff trucks ended up right around each other, and we had to race really hard to get that track position. But, you know, at the end of the race, whenever I was running down the 27, I kept having to bite my tongue to not try and go get them, and they kept telling me how good I was compared to everyone behind me, and had to keep the big picture in mind.
We'll go over here to the right to Bob, then we'll come back to Zach.
Bob Harper, ESPN. I have one for each of you. Christopher, do you believe in yourself as much in a truck now as you do in a dirt midget?
Getting there, not there completely. The pavement deal it's very difficult, especially coming here to a place like Homestead, where every lap your truck does something different or your car does something different. But I think that's just a product of me running on dirt for 16, 17 years now, and only being on pavement for 4 years, and having maybe 100 races total under my belt. So I'm definitely gaining confidence as I go, but it's, you know, that's going to take a lot of time.
And for Kyle, your first driver champion was Eric Jones. He came up through late models. Christopher comes up through sprint cars. Was there anything that you've seen Christopher from the time he, you know, started with you? What did he have to learn the most to kind of match what Jones did?
He didn't have to learn much at Eldora. He did way better than Jones at Eldora. But past that, you know, just I think being able to figure out how to go fast and be tight. You know, Jones I raced against him a couple times in late models, and every time I raced against him, he was fast and he was a bit free, kind of loose. And Christopher thought that was the fast way when he got here. You know, loose is fast, but in all honesty, you probably learned that tighter's a little bit better, especially in a truck, you know. So I think that was a little bit of a learning experience for him, and just knowing how fast and how good you could be, being able to have a little bit of tug on the steering wheel. But other than that, I think, you know, learning traffic is one of the biggest things. I think they both had to learn traffic an awful lot over the course of the years that they've been with us, and trucks are probably the most difficult series to race aero dependently, because they just punch such a big hole in the air with the truck in front of you. So, but they all have their different traits. You know, they all grow some of their traits from me after the butt chewings that they get on Monday mornings. So
we had to cancel the competition meeting last week, by the way.
Yes, we did. He still hasn't gotten his butt chewing yet. So, it's not going to be as hard now as it would have been last week. But all in all, I mean, they continue to grow, they continue to evolve, they continue to get better. Each and every race that they do, like Christopher said, I mean, 100 pavement starts is pretty phenomenal to grow that fast and that quick. You know, obviously Kyle Larson's probably one of the only others that's been that quick. So it's cool to see, especially coming through us with KBM.
Johnny Saunders last week said he did everything right.
Johnny Sauter's an idiot, so I'll have to talk to Johnny too. Just kidding. That's just my favorite word.
We're going to come right up front here to Zach.
Zach Hubbard, NASCAR.com. Rudy was in here just a minute ago. This is for both of you guys. Rudy was in here. He said that you know, one of the things that's been big in Christopher's growth this year was just cleaning up some of the little mistakes that seemed to hold him back last year. Was there a conscious effort to kind of address some of those little things that were just little issues, or is part of this just, you know, a year older, year wiser?
It's definitely a year older, year wiser thing. I would definitely look at Eric Jones. Eric Jones was the same way. We just had to clean up little stuff with him. He was fast. We just needed to clean up some of the little mistakes and some of the stuff that he would do in practice that he would kind of mis-set up his truck for the race, you know. So those were some of the things that we did with him, and I think Christopher just cleaning up some of his race technique and things like that was something else. You know, the one guy that was the year before Christopher here was William, and man, for as late as William started and for as little experience as he just had a really good racecraft, and he's special. And it's not that to take away anything from Jones or from Christopher. I think they're all going to be just as good with one another, because they're all going to be racing each other here in a few years. Matter of fact, Jones and William next year, but Christopher's not far off. It's just different drivers, different traits, different things, different learning distances, how long it takes to figure those things out sometimes. Hell, I'm 32 and I'm still learning some things as well too, you know. So it's taken me this long to figure out how to win a championship in 2015, being in the sport for 12 years.
We'll go right back up front to Reed.
Christopher, are you going to celebrate tonight or wait until after you run for the Xfinity Owner Championship tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, whenever I won the Chili Bowl, I went to Waffle House, so I might have to find a Waffle House to go tonight. But you know, tomorrow is going to be a big day for me. With me moving into the Xfinity Series, it's going to be huge to experience what Homestead race is like in an Xfinity car, and I'm part of the Owner Championship too. So there's a big task at hand tomorrow, and I need to make sure that I'm ready to go for that.
Which number are you in? The 20?
The 20.
Oh, I don't care.
Additional questions for our champions.
I'll go talk to Priest tonight. I'll help him out.
Tell him to turn down whenever I slide him.
Gentlemen, congratulations on the championship. Look
Thank
forward
you.
to seeing you next year. Thank
All right.
you.
You got it. Thanks.